We are back on Sunday, February 15th for our second ever Too Young to Vote podcast. I'm James Serrata, and this is
Christian Anderson.
We bring you some news from here locally, Minnesota, and some geopolitics, United States news.
Can I interject something?
Yeah.
I would just like to say that we had a lot of positive feedback, and I hated it. We did not get one negative comment calling us a fascist, a racist, or Islamophobic. I was kind of sick of that. That changes today. That changes today. Not enough people were mad. I'm sorry, James. I interrupted you, but that's all good. On my chest the entire week. All right. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Honestly. Why don't you just jump right into some of this and we can...
So we obviously have had a quieter week here in Minnesota. It's not been as riotous as it riotous as it has been in the past few weeks or month or whatever. But Tom Homan did address the nation, and specifically Minnesota, on Thursday, and announced the closure of Operation Metro Surge. It's winding down now. It's already been winding down last week, but it's going to continue to do so. The estimates for arrests are somewhere north of 4,000, which obviously is not compared to. I mean, the estimates are. We don't know how many are in Minnesota. It's way north of 100,000. I'm positive it is. I don't think there's any way it's not. The fraud is way north of 10 billion too. So whether or not, they all need to go. Like,
honestly, I mean, we just gotta get them all out.
Yeah.
One way or another. I mean, there's two ways we could do it.
The hard way or the harder way.
We're doing it the hard way right now. I mean, we might need it the harder way.
Yeah, but I would like to say, back when, obviously a couple weeks ago when Donald Trump had the call with Tim Walz and said that it went splendidly, and that Tim Walz is, kind of implied that Tim Walz is now cooperating, that they're going to get things done. It kind of made my heart drop a little bit because, if Tim Walz supports it, I don't think I like it. As a rule, 99.9% of the time, if Tim Walz supports it, it's either anti-Trump or I just hate it. Which is oftentimes, both. Most of the time it's both of them. But I did get a little nervous, obviously, with that. But with the arrival of Tom Homan, they seen the county jails have been complying and handing over their illegals to ICE, which is obviously wonderful, which they haven't been doing before. They have not been complying with ICE and Donald Trump, and obviously Greg Bovino, who was there before, but now Tom Homan. And now something about Donald Trump talking to Tim Walz and Tom Homan scared them, and they are now actually complying with us. And obviously it's been quieter in Minneapolis. We're not having riots. People aren't they still are, obviously, but as actively impeding law enforcement, and we are actually getting things done. And one interesting thing that was said was they seem to have found 3,000, I think, 3,364 missing unaccompanied illegal children. Which I don't know how liberals are going to twist that against them, but they're going to twist it somehow.
They're going to twist it some way.
And what I did, because I looked at CBS News, which great choice for facts,
everything,
just like CNN, But they tried to say that it actually wasn't. It was just part of a larger scale a larger scale ICE enforcement, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't just in Operation Metro Surge. Do I believe them? Probably not. But the fact is they tried to claim that it was part of the 320,000 missing children, illegal missing children in the U.S. right now that J.D. Vance obviously hinted at last year, or actually in 24. But the fact is we're finding the illegal children. Whether the number is 1,000 or 3,000, it doesn't really matter. There's illegal children here who are unaccompanied. And one of the big things was CBS was saying that it was actually just part of the 320,000 that were just, they didn't show up at the court cases or something. And so they actually didn't lose track of them. They just didn't show up at the immigration court cases, which means they're unaccounted for. I mean, they're lost. It doesn't mean anything different. It just means they didn't show up at the court date, right? So we don't know where they are, but we found 3,364 of them in Minneapolis, in Minnesota specifically. So
yeah,
that's good news. That's good news, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Good news. Liberals probably hate it because for being so pro illegal immigrant and pro child welfare, they'll find a way to hate it because it's what Trump did.
To not like.
Their rule is if Donald Trump likes it, they hate it.
Even if it's something that they semi-support, they're just gonna hate it because they hate Donald Trump.
They hate Donald Trump. It's
like, okay.
Yeah. But it can be Donald Trump could literally start handing out the biggest welfare packages, taking all of our tax dollars and handing them to illegal immigrants, and they'd hate it. Oh wait, Tim Walz already did that, but yeah, well, like I said, Donald Trump could turn into Tim Walz, and they would still somehow hate what he does. They hate him.
They could find ways.
They shot
false
him.
ways.
They shot at him. They tried to put him in prison for life. They hate him. They're scared of him too. They're very scared of him. No matter how much Tim Walz would like to talk about how much of a man he is and how unintimidated he is by Donald Trump, he's very intimidated by Donald Trump. And officially, when he went on call with Donald Trump and started saying he's going to start complying with him, he became a Nazi collaborator in his own words. So something about Donald Trump made Tim Walz so scared that he became a now Nazi collaborator.
Yep.
Your thoughts on that? I kind of took up that whole thing, but
I mean, no, you hear your comments. You made it perfectly, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny in his own words that he's basically a Nazi collaborator now. I mean,
Nazi collaborator.
Everything that he hated so much, now he's just complying with it. So,
yeah, I don't know if he wants to redeem himself at the end of his term because obviously he's not running for re-election or what, but he backed down and the county jails in turn followed suit and backed down and now are handing all their illegals over to ICE to be arrested and eventually deported. And that's why Tom Homan said Operation Metro Surge is ending is because we don't need as much house-to-house raids because we're actually getting a lot of the criminals, okay, let me just make this clear. If you cross the border illegally, you're a criminal. Mm-hmm. But the criminal, but those who committed crimes within our borders, not just crossing over the border. You know what I mean? Like, you understand?
Yeah.
And a lot of those are now getting arrested and deported, which is obviously great news because they need to be out of our country. Every single one of them. They're all illegal. They need to go. Sick and tired of this. Maybe we should just deport all the criminals.
They hate us and they're taking our money.
Yeah, they hate America. They don't want America. If they wanted to come here and assimilate, I would still tell them to leave if they came illegally. But yeah. It'd be a lot harder to, you know what I mean? But they're not wanting to come over here and assimilate. They're wanting to come over here and invade.
I know. We're giving them such an easy option, too. We're doing self-deportations. I think, is it $3,000 that you get for self-deportation?
Yeah, $2,500 or something.
$2,500? Yeah, I mean, it's
$3,000.
I would take that if I was an illegal. I would take that. But
I don't know if they understand the U.S. tax code that well.
I don't know if they understand that. But circling back to the phone call that Trump and Governor Walz had, do we know anything that entailed that phone call? Do we know anything that was said, or is it more so anonymous right now?
I don't, because I didn't do that much research. All I know is Trump said Tim Walz had a great, wonderful phone call with Tim Walz, and Tim Walz is backing down to that. Initially, that scared me because I didn't want us to be starting to be painsing up to, tampon Tim Walz and his little fraudsters. So initially it scared me, and I didn't do in depth of what exactly was said, but I know as a whole, Tim Walz said that he's now going to start complying a little bit more, and that we should we should get the specifically the criminals who've committed crimes within the U.S. border out of the nation. So,
yeah. Well, if only we knew what was actually said in that phone call that made Tim Walz change his mind, really.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's not exactly that much of a man, let's be honest.
Does he really have much of a backbone?
No. And that's why you see the difference between Tom Homan and Tim Walz, right? Tom Homan came here, and actually things started to get done, and people actually started to comply with federal law enforcement, which is what we need to see, right? We need to see men who are willing to stand up, and people who are protesting them and impeding federal law enforcement, including the fraudsters like Tim Walz and Keith Ellison who are orchestrating this. They need to start backing down. That's what we needed to see, and they did start to back down with Tom Homan here. And I think that shows what a strong man can actually do to these really intimidating men who are leading our state. These really brave outdoorsmen. I mean, Tim Walz he's a real example of what I want to be as a man. So to see him back down is very validating to Tom Homan, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, you pretty much summed it up.
Summed
So
it all up. Yeah. I mean, I'll just say this: whether we get all of them out now or it takes years, the fight does not stop, and there's a
no,
midterm coming up in November. You need to vote Republican on that. And right now, vote for the Republican who can win. I know people have issues with Lisa DeMuth, who's leading it, but she's the one who can win right now, and we need to vote for that. We need to vote for the one who can actually win the election, not the one who you might like him, but he's getting Scott Jensen's getting 5% of the vote right now.
he actually dropped out. He's
Did he
going
drop
to,
out?
Yeah, he's going for I believe it's secretary of Minnesota. But yeah, no, he did drop out.
That's good. But those lower percentage where people in the straw polls, they weren't getting as high a percentage, they're not going to win the race. Don't vote for that. Vote for Lisa DeMuth, who actually can win the race. I mean, you might not like her and whatnot, but she needs to be the nominee if she's the one who can win the race. And if there's someone else who seems like a promising candidate who is close to her, like Dennis Qualls is, I believe, close to her. My notes are on.
I mean, for the actual election, vote for the one that's
gonna win,
right?
And
then for the caucusing, vote for the one that's going to do the most
caucusing,
for you, or do the one that's going to be the best in your opinion. But for actually voting for your governor or for a president, for an example, vote for your party and the one that's going to win, or the one that can win.
Don't write in. Don't vote independent.
Don't not vote.
And don't not vote because
you don't like just stay at home. No, you need to get out and you need to vote. It's
not being religious. It's not being, Christ-like or godly right now to say I surrender in this fight and I'm taking a different approach to say, kind of to hell with it because does it really matter? It's all politics and
it does matter.
The world moves on.
A lot more than what the normal person thinks.
Except for the fact that except for the fact that we are in a position where we are the last of the West, the Great West, which is the Christian part of the world was the West, right? The UK is a Muslim state. It's as simple as that. Muslims are allowed to say everything they want. Christians and normal Brits and whoever else, the rest of the UK they're being censored for saying I like bacon. They're being arrested for saying I like bacon because Muslims hate it.
Yeah.
It's a Muslim state, right? It's America that's left.
It is. And I mean, we're becoming more and more. If these deportations do not start going up, which we're doing a great job again.
Trump's doing a great job.
But I mean, if those were not happening in the first place, we would become just like that very quickly.
Yeah, it would spiral out very fast.
Yeah.
It would spiral out of control very fast. Like
it would be very hard to control it at that time. It's kind of like a wildfire. When it starts going, it's hard to put it out.
Yeah. Because, the illegal immigrants, we don't know where they are because we don't know where they are because they're illegal. We don't have no papers on them. We have no documents. So we need to start making mass deportations as fast as possible, right? And obviously the border crossings are down. So the leak has stopped, but we still need to bail the ship out of all its water, right?
Yeah. It's a great way to put it, honestly.
Yeah. And moving on, James has something a little bit on Nancy Guthrie, am I right? So
I got a little bit on Nancy Guthrie. We're just going to go through a short, who she was. So Nancy Guthrie, she's a 84-year-old. She was married to Charles Guthrie upon his death in 1988. Nancy is also a mother of 3, 1 boy and 2 girls, including Savannah Guthrie. Savannah is the co-anchor of NBC News, the News Today show. She was the co-anchor since 2012. And so why I'm talking about Nancy Guthrie right now is because she went missing the night of January 31st or 30th. So we haven't seen her since. I mean, that's been about a week or two weeks and a day or so.
16 days roughly.
Yeah.
My math is right, which it probably is. Guys, we're homeschooled.
Yeah.
It's a little slack.
I mean, I think it was 15 days because I think it was. No,
all right, where's the calculator?
No, I believe it was 14. I believe it's 15. Because technically she went missing on the 1st. Like
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was like
Official
the night.
missing on the
Yeah,
1st.
official missing was February 1st. But the brief description of the suspect is a male. He's 5'10" with an average build. That's about all we know on the suspect right now. But yeah, I mean, we can pray for that. But
Obviously, just pray
yeah,
for that. I
pray
mean,
for
it's
that.
as simple as that, and I will be praying for it. I know James will be too. But it doesn't look good. 16 days of being
No,
missing
it really never looks good when it's
it was a ransom
16
crack.
days.
It was a ransom case too.
Yeah.
So sorry, continue.
No, it's all good. The FBI also stated that it's been a mess trying to search throughout this.
The FBI
this
did. Wow, our
Yeah.
greatest,
Cash.
the greatest,
Wow.
the single
Yeah.
greatest criminal investigation organization. They're not even that. The federal bureaucracy of idiots or intelligence or lack of intelligence is what we could probably call it. But yeah, they're useless to be honest.
They are. Yeah, we need to really get into it.
Ever since they got rid of the whistleblowers. Promised to rehire them all, failed to rehire them all.
Yeah.
Another failure of Kash Patel to do his job and to actually to represent Trump's organization well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's a little bit on Nancy Guthrie. I did want to talk a little bit about Trump stated, I believe, if I can look this up here. Trump stated that regime change would be the best option for Iran right now, for the whole war that's going on in the Middle East, or not the brick of war going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just
the brick of war. You mean the brink?
The brink of war. So
I was kidding, James. I'm picking on you.
So I mean, yeah, he said that a regime change would be the best thing for Iran, for the Iranian people right now. Do you have any thoughts on if that would be a good idea? Or
I think the regime should go, but you have to be careful because when you take out a regime, you don't know what's going to fill its place, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a worse regime to fill its place because that's oftentimes what happens. When you uproot a regime, another regime just fills its place, and it'll be, whether it be warring tribes, gangs, clans, another dictatorship like Donald Trump, because we really don't want a dictatorship like Donald Trump.
Yeah, that'd be the worst thing that could happen, honestly.
Is a Hitler-like
too much
dictator
of a dictator
like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, he regime changed Venezuela. He's such a dictator.
Yeah,
I say that jokingly.
There was no regime change in Venezuela. I mean, they put his Maduro's vice president. They put her as president. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
really,
not a regime change.
Yeah, that was just completely false. The whole regime change in Venezuela.
That was such a cool. Operation.
Dude, you just wake up that morning and you read the news and it's like, this is what it feels like to be an American. We literally swooped up and we
got it, James. You broke this.
And we got these guys within, I think it was a 2-hour operation. We pulled him out of bed in his pajamas next to his wife.
That's pretty cool. Anyway.
Most American really I've felt in a while.
Really cool. Anyway, moving on. We had a little bit on. I just want to talk a little bit about the failure to represent the Trump organization by Pam Bondi, right? So many of you probably saw the congressional meeting where she kind of had a little bit of a tantrum, or crash out, as more kindly called.
Definitely crash out.
It was.
It's just on the other note.
Oh, it's on the other note. Yeah, I wrote it on.
Let me see.
That's all mine. Yeah, Nadler asked her, Nadler, which is Jerry Nadler, is.
I believe so.
Yeah, he's like 5'1" and an evil man. And he asked her, how many Epstein co-conspirators are you investigating, and how many Epstein co-conspirators have you indicted, and how many perpetrators are you even investigating? Bondi responds, first two, then gets interrupted by Nadler, who actually reasserts the question. Bondi says, excuse me, I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to answer the question how I want to answer the question. Yeah. So
she was definitely crashing out.
I was listening to Steve Dace on it, and he said, you don't lose the moral high ground to a man like Jerry Nadler very easily, because when you make yourself look like the evil person in front of a Democrat who's talking to you, you failed in such a serious way that you make yourself. You should never be in public life again. You should hide her face, change your identity, move to somewhere in Venezuela, and never take a picture of herself and put it on social media or the internet ever again. Because that's what she wants to do. She wants to be on Fox News. They just failed to hire her. So she decided to become Attorney General instead. That's just what I think.
That's anyway. A lot worse than being Fox News. I mean, she's done a lot worse than what she could have done in Fox News. I mean,
just for some context, then she proceeds to accuse one of the congresswomen of theft. No, she was taking money from someone, illegally taking money from someone when she's the Attorney General. So, she goes off the rails to accuse criminal accusations of a congresswoman when she's the Attorney General, and that's her job to figure that out. She goes on to accuse other people of that when she's the Attorney General. That shows such a level of incompetence and insanity and just embarrassment. It's embarrassing to the Trump organization. It's embarrassing to Republicans. That's an embarrassment to watch. You make Democrats look like the good people in that situation. You failed. Because Democrats' base is full of insane, morally degraded, mostly women, blue-haired, septum piercings for voters. And they don't really care that much about morals, but it's the middle ground that does, right? And they're going to see that, and they'll be like, wow, like the Trump organization is really failing to prosecute criminals in the Epstein. And instead of responding, because there's a lot of accusations about name redactions, specifically those of victims versus the actual conspirators. Like the victims' names were not redacted, and the conspirator names were redacted. I don't, because I haven't done much research on the Epstein files. I've heard a lot of people I trust say that that's really not true. There's actually been a lot more conspirators' names. Again, I'm not really reading through the Epstein files because I'm not a prosecutor, and I care more about the immigration issue right now than obviously one man and, well, probably actually a ring of people. But it's not as much as the amount of illegal immigrants we have in our country. So right now I'm more focused on that. But when you make yourself look like the evil one who's hiding conspirators' names in front of Democrats, in front of the entire world, you have failed to represent the Trump organization well. And she should be out of here.
Bad.
Yeah, sorry, I took that away from you, but do you have any comments on that?
No, it just looks bad. I mean, it looks like she has 100% failed, and I mean, yeah, it's not looking good over there. But
she should have been kicked out with that whole. It was the influencer scam of last year where she said some influencers are going to get to see the files and something that didn't actually turn out to be right.
There was a picture of the influencers holding a binder with the files, but the binders were, I believe, they were empty.
Yeah, and she said there was actually no more leads in July. In July, she said there was no more leads, then proceeded to.
Yeah, no, they said that the Epstein files were a cover-up last year.
Yes.
Or not a cover-up, I'm sorry.
There was no more.
Yeah, there was just nothing more. And then, turns out, fast forward a couple months, 6 million total emails, and we only got half of them. We only got 3 million total.
And I'm not necessarily saying that there's this massive conspiracy here, but I'm saying you clearly made it look like there's this massive conspiracy. I don't think Trump's guilty. I don't think he's actually in the Epstein files as a guilty party. But then again, you made him look really guilty. You've made him look so guilty.
You did make him look really guilty. And that could lead a lot of people astray in saying he's
a pervert,
guilty because
he's a felon.
I mean, they'll take that and they'll run with that, first of all, like he's a pervert or something like that, or like he's a pedophile. But really, that was your own mistake because you came out in July and you said there were no more Epstein files, guys. That was it. There's no more.
There's no more leads in them anyways.
Yeah.
Now there is.
Now there's, supposedly, we only got half of them. So, I mean, it just makes you look skeptical. It makes you look like you're hiding something. So I mean, I don't really know what that was about. But
Yeah, I mean, and you saw how they ran with the whole Trump is a felon from last term, where they tried to put him in prison for 90 something years, and which is life in prison for. He's not gonna live to be 170.
140.
How do we go? All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's not gonna live to be that old, is what we're trying to say. Um, which shows effectively life in prison.
Yeah.
But they ran with that when clearly he was proven innocent. He wasn't proven innocent, and he wasn't given a free pass out of jail because he became president. That's not how it worked. It was kind of bullcrap charges taken out against him. So, but they still ran with that. They still ran with the whole your president is a felon thing, and they're still running with that.
They're so
willfully ignorant, right? They're very willfully.
I mean,
ignorant.
they are. Yeah, they just take any little snippet they get and they run with it.
Well, they take CNN facts.
Yeah,
right?
CNN facts, CBS News facts, even Fox News facts.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, it's not all trustworthy, guys. It really is.
No. We're the only trustworthy people out there. So listen to us. Don't listen to anybody else out there. We are it. Like, we're the last. No, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot of people I recommend. I listen to like a lot of Steve Dace and then Matt Walsh, obviously, because I love Matt Walsh. I just finished Am I Racist? That was one of the best that was the best documentary I ever made, actually. The best.
What was it?
Am I Racist by Matt Walsh. It's hilarious. But anyway, there's a lot more people I trust.
Yeah.
But there's even more that I don't trust. So.
Exactly. I also kind of want to touch a little bit on Maxwell. I'm not going to try.
Ghislaine Maxwell, I think is how you...
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Let me try to pronounce it how it's spelled. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. We're not going to try to pronounce the first name, but you guys know who it is, and my guess is Maxwell. She was sentenced.
You're starting to sound like Candace Owens on us. Can you stop?
Oh, yeah.
Sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Sentenced to 20 years in prison. She was conspired with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse minors.
Yeah.
Then I also wanted to... Pam Bondi said that she hopes that Maxwell will die in prison.
No, I actually hope Maxwell dies before they get to prison, because I hope
I
hope the death penalty is taken out.
I didn't want to say it, but...
sexually assault a kid. If you're willing to sexually assault anybody, the death penalty should be taken out.
I wouldn't go that far, honestly. I don't think, as Christians, death penalty should be set upon anybody.
Actually?
Or not anybody.
You're anti-death... Oh, okay.
No, I'm not anti-death penalty, but I mean, I just think that's not our choice to choose who should die.
Yes, but at the same time...
ultimately God's judgment.
Yes. But we are also all to enact justice. And remember, God gave us the power to enact the death penalty. He did that in the Old Testament, and he gave it to Israel, obviously, for actually a lot more severe purposes. And back in the 1800s, you could get the death penalty for stealing a horse, which, when you look back at it, horses were your entire livelihood. If you lost your horse, there's a chance you couldn't get the town, you couldn't get the stuff you need, you couldn't get your work done, you'd starve, and your family would starve. So that's why it's a very severe crime, and you could be hung for that. But nooses were only used on black people, as we learned from The View. So I don't know where. Yeah,
we don't know where it went, guys. So. But yeah, but no, I'm not a supporter of the death penalty. I mean, it depends on what you do. I guess sexually abuse children, especially minors. I suppose that would be an exception, but honestly, I just don't feel. I don't know. It wouldn't set well on my conscience,
Yes, but there's actually something they did when the people in the firing squad were supposed to shoot the criminal. They'd have like 5 people, and then one would have a blank. So you never know who actually was the one who killed him and who was the one with the blank. Now, in reality, marksmen who were adept at shooting could figure out which the blank was, because you can feel it. There's a different feel to it from it, like a heavy round, right? So.
I guess that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah. But it was to clear the conscience,
chair,
right? Electricity killed them, not you. But I mean, it has to be done, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on this a little bit, even though do you have any more comments on that?
No.
Taking over a lot of your time.
Honestly, I didn't come very well prepared today, guys.
Yes, you did.
I should have done more research on a couple of things, but
I think that's how we both
it's been a really slow week, honestly, for news-wise. I've been searching all these different news companies, all these different news websites, and there's been nothing.
All Fox is on obviously the Nancy Guthrie case, which is big news.
That's what a lot of the places are that I found. They're just on the Nancy Guthrie case, but hopefully she will be found.
Hopefully she will be found.
Yeah.
And those who kidnapped her should be given the death penalty. So I want to touch on the death penalty a little bit, right? Because it's one of those things where I believe as a man, you have to do some ugly things. There's some things and ugly things that have to be done to protect those you love and to protect your national security, your borders, and the ICE operations would be an example of that. They're ugly things, right? People are getting manhandled, but we should not feel some massive sympathy to these people who are getting manhandled. You know, these people who broke the law to come into this country, and people who are impeding federal law enforcement and breaking the law and doing that. There's no reason we should feel this sympathy or guilt for them, or even like Renee Good or Alex Pretty. We should not. There's no reason to feel guilt over them. And yes, it's a grieving thing, but like I say, would you grieve it if you heard it? If you go out and you take every suicide case, do you grieve them all? Or do you just grieve the one Alex Preddy and Renee Good, right? Like, where do you pick and choose which ones you grieve for, and why should we just grieve Renee Good and Alex Preddy, right? It's a sad thing, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't grieve it or anything, but be careful how far you take that, because at some point you have to say they chose the way they would go down, and they chose that path. And that path led to eternally to death, right? And they are in God's hands now, and we pray for their soul, but it does not look like they chose God's way. And so in the end, there's only one. There's only one way to go with that, and that's hell. So hell eternal. And anything else you want to tie into that, James?
No, I mean, it's just a sad reality, honestly. I mean, you do have to do some things that you don't want to do as
the doctrine
law
of ugly
enforcement
things.
and as a man.
Especially as a man. Especially as a man, right?
Yeah. I mean, not to be sexist, I'm sure it will be called that, but to be honest, women don't want to do those things.
No.
So men have to stand up, and they have to do the things that need to be done in order to,
And sorry, did you have anything else? And as a man who was given the call to be the leader and spiritually in your house and in the church and in the community, you have to be willing to do the ugly things. You should not leave it up to a lady to do it. And frankly, I think that's why I used to be kind of on board. Like, what would be that wrong with a woman president, a woman president or a woman in leadership? Right now is what is wrong. You see with Pam Bondi, right now is not the time for that, right? Yeah. We need a man who's willing to do the things, the ugly things that have to be done. Like Donald Trump's the one to do them, and he carried out those ICE raids even after the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, or the suicides of them, I should clarify.
I mean, he didn't like how it looked, but he still
carried them out. And maybe it wasn't. I've heard a lot of people that say it wasn't a clean shot, and maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It was an ugly thing that just had to be done.
Yeah,
I mean, and in both cases, it was not murder.
We're just gonna let that to see if it was justified by the professionals because they get to see the body cam footage.
And obviously, the Renee Good was. The ICE officer got hit by the car. Alex Preddy was not as clean.
Yeah, it wasn't as clean, but still, he still came to a violent protest
that way
with a loaded gun in his belt.
Spare mag with the hair trigger.
Mag, yeah, he had multiple spare mags in his car, and the spare mag on his butt.
And worst, there was a miscommunication that led to his death, but you know what ultimately led to his death? In the grand scheme of things, was his choice to be there. It's a loaded gun and to start impeding law enforcement. And it's something you do not do. Common sense dictates you do not do that. And that's what he chose, and he ended up dying for it. But that was his choice.
Yeah.
So, anything on that?
Not really, if I'm being honest.
Okay, is there anything else we wanted to get to before we close? The stories? I didn't know, because you did a lot more research on some of the stories than I did, so I didn't know if you had anything.
Well, if I'm being honest, the research that you did kind of summed up the research I did.
No, the research you did summed up the research that I did. Like you're getting this
Vice
report.
versa.
Just
Vice
kidding.
versa. Yeah.
Um,
No, you basically summed up everything that I was researching.
Uh,
Good job, man.
no, good job. You cooked, James. You cooked. All right. What verse did you have open? I just wanted to read this.
I had Isaiah 12:2 open. I have it
You
lined
read
in
it
my
for us?
Bible. Sure. All right. Isaiah 12:2. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and I will not be afraid. For the Lord God is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. I mean, it's just powerful verse in my opinion. It's
The Lord is my strength, and right now, and I will trust and not be afraid, for God is our strength, right? And God has given us this, will give us the strength to do what has to be done, even the ugly, hard things that just have to be done. They're not pretty things, right? They're not going to be comfortable for any of us, specifically illegal aliens. But they chose to come in here illegally, and they have to pay for that, right? We could make a lot worse penalties for that, right? The only thing they have to pay for it is to go back out. It'd be like if I stole something, and the only thing I would have to do is just give it right back, right?
It's not
That's
that
all they're.
difficult.
It's
I
not
mean,
that
they
difficult.
can come back as long as they get a green card or
Yeah. There's legal ways to do this,
yeah,
guys.
there's
It might
legal
take
ways
a
to do
while,
it.
but that's not our problem.
Honestly, if you love this place so much and you don't want to leave it, come here legally. Simple as that.
Yeah, if you really, really want to be part of America, you would take the time to get this done. Might seem unreasonable to you, but it has to be done. The most basic aspect of a nation is its borders, and if we can't even hold that, we are no longer a nation, which Joe Biden tried to do.
He did. He tried to open the borders completely.
Completely destroyed it.
Yeah. I mean, he was the only reason we're having to do these deportations. Not the only reason. Obviously, they've came in through other presidents, but
He's
20
the
million.
big one.
I believe, was it 10 or 20 million that came in under his...
I don't think it was that much. I think, well, I guess we don't know how much.
Yeah, I guess we don't know the official number. But
because a lot of them are based on Border Patrol encounters with them, and they're not encountering nearly every illegal alien that came across the border, so what are the numbers? And that's the thing with illegal aliens. We don't know. We simply don't know. We can give estimates, and they could be way wrong, or be way high, which I hope they're way high, because it would take a lot quicker for them to get them out of the country, or they're way low, which I think they're actually way low.
Yeah.
Simple as that. All right. I shared the gospel last week, so I think that's your turn.
All right, I got it. All right, the gospel is the good news. So it all starts in the beginning in the book of Genesis, where God created the heavens and the earth, perfect in His image. He made them in 6 days, rested on the seventh. He made Adam the first man on earth. Then He made Eve his soulmate, and they were in the Garden of Eden, and I mean, we all know the story. I forgot the name
They
already.
sinned.
I know.
James.
I'm
Just kidding.
I'm losing it. I'm getting stage fright, man.
It's a hard thing to share. But
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
Eve, she ate the fruit. She gave it to Adam. Adam didn't say anything. Adam sinned because he didn't say anything. He knew it was wrong. They listened to the devil and they ate the fruit. That was the one rule God said: do not eat of this tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And they did. They sinned, and they got cast out of the Garden of Eden into the earth, and the
state of sin and misery.
Yeah, the state of sin and misery. And that was the fall, and then dude, I'm losing it.
It's all good. It's all good. It's not easy. This is not easy to share, right?
Yeah.
Very few people are actually taught how to share this, and when you're actually willing to go out and actually share this like James is doing in front of people, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength and a lot of clarity of thinking, right? But everybody, every Christian specifically, but I think everybody should be a Christian, but every Christian should know how to share this to someone and in front of people, in front of a big crowd, right? Yeah. So continue. Yeah.
So anyways, after the sin entered the world, God promised a Savior, and later came Jesus Christ. He was perfect. He was born of a Virgin Mary, and he lived 33 years on the earth. 33 years on the earth. Then he died on the cross, and that was the ultimate sacrifice. God chose to crucify his only begotten Son on the earth for us, because John 3:16, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son to the world. Or somewhere in between the lines. So
somewhere between them.
Yeah. And so that's the good news of the gospel, and we are here, we're waiting for his return to judge the living and the dead. And as Christ died on the cross, the gates of heaven were opened for any sinner that comes to repent. So long as you can repent and live in the word of the Lord, you can get to heaven. And that's good news.
Thank you, James. Yeah. Appreciate it. Well, very well said, well spoken, and well articulated, and it was clear. So we will see you guys next week. This will be we've decided to do this weekly because we got such positive feedback. Like we said, we hated it. We hated every single of that positive feedback. Not enough negative feedback. But maybe this week it'll change. We're gonna have 50,000 subscribers by next week. All right, 50,000. But I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys all next week.
Next week. All right.
So
peace.
Godspeed.